We run Los Angeles. I think he's the top rated horse in the race. He's obviously a Group 1 winner at the start of the year at the HKIR, over 1.25 miles, and he won an Irish Derby and Group 1 as a 2-year-old. This will be his last run. His last start in the Arc was obviously a bit disappointing, but I think Aidan's happy with how he's trained since then, and hopefully he can finish on a high. It's quite a deep Vase this year. There's 11 runners. Giovanotto obviously won the race last year. Sosi finished third in the Arc and probably sets the standard. Goliath's a King George winner. Al Riffa was a very impressive winner of the Irish Ledger and ran a super race in the Melbourne Cup. So they're fairly solid horses. There's a Japanese St. Ledger winner in there who's been slightly disappointing since, but you never underestimate those horses at this meeting. Obviously HKIR Rising sets a very high standard. He's drawn one, which you could maybe say you wouldn't have picked for him, but he's such a high-class horse, and he was dominant when he won here 3 weeks ago. He won the Everest probably when he wasn't at his best and was still able to win. I think he's an exceptional horse, would be very hard to beat. I ride Satana Rev, who's been placed twice here on both his starts. He's a Group 1 winner, and he was second in the Queen Elizabeth Jubilee Stakes at Ascot this year. All being well, he can hit the frame, but we know what task is ahead of him against what is an exceptional horse. This is probably, this would be the most competitive of the 4 Group 1 races on the day. He's coming off 3 very good runs at a mile. Obviously he was a high-class 2-year-old. We were hoping he'd be a Derby horse. He had a little setback at the start of the year and started a bit late. Ran the Dante, he was fresh and done too much, and then he didn't stay in the Derby. And he's come back. He came back to 7 furlongs and he ran well in the John Pratt. Was disappointing in the Jack Lamar, but his last 3 starts in the Mood and the Mile Race Champions Day and the Breeders' Cup have been very consistent, and he's right in there on that form in amongst all the others in what is a very competitive race. He got drawn 14, which never really where you want to be, but it is what it is. We'll have to make the best of it. I suppose of the internationals, Japanese 3-year-old filly Embroidery, she looks a exciting filly. I think of the local horses, My Wish, he's got a nice draw. Voyage Bubble obviously won the race last year. He's maybe not quite the level he was yet. Soul Rush is a very consistent horse, won a Group 1 last year in Japan, and the Dubai Duty Free where he beat Romantic Warrior. He ran well in this race. I think he was 3rd last year, so he's a very consistent horse. It's a really competitive race. I'm hopeful the Lion and Winter acquits himself well. The Hong Kong Cup this year is usually a great race. I love it. Unfortunately, it's cut up and it's light, and he's going to be a very short price favourite, and he's entitled to be. I thought when he won his prep race, he looked better than ever, and it was a perfect prep race. They went very steady. He was able just to sit in behind the leaders and travel up into the straight under no pressure and quickened away, put the race to bed very easily without being put under maximum pressure at all. So you'd think he'd probably step forward from that again. I think Quisisana has been progressive all year. She's a lightly raced 4-year-old filly. She won the Romanée in Deauville. The Arc was probably soft ground, mile and a half, maybe not ideal. She's probably the interesting one to hit the board behind the favourite.